Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share something that might surprise you, something that might make you rethink the way we look at relationships, strength, and the incredible role of women in our world. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a woman completely unguarded? Not just in love, not just in trust, but in her essence, completely laid bare? If you have, you'll know it's a rare and sacred sight, because the truth is, a woman should always keep some things to herself. Now, before you start thinking this is about deception or games, let me stop you right there. This isn't about playing small or withholding love. This is about power. This is about grace. This is about understanding that not everything needs to be given away in order for love to be real. There are 7 things a woman must always keep hidden. 7 things that define her strength, her mystery, her resilience. And today we're going to explore why. Her deepest fears. Fear is a deeply personal emotion. It is raw, unfiltered, and often misunderstood. A woman's fears are not just fleeting thoughts or momentary anxieties. They are layered, complex, and deeply woven into her life experiences. They come from the past, from the lessons she's learned, the pain she has endured, and the uncertainties she still faces. And while the world teaches us to open up, to share, to let others in, there are certain fears a woman must keep to herself, not because she doesn't trust the man she loves, but because some fears do not need fixing, they simply need to exist. Men are wired to solve problems. It's in their nature. When they hear that something is wrong, their first instinct is to find a solution. If their partner expresses a fear, they want to make it go away. This comes from a place of love, of care, of wanting to be the protector. But what men often fail to understand is that not every fear is meant to be conquered immediately. Some fears need space. They need time. They need to be processed internally before they can be spoken aloud. And some fears should never be spoken at all. A woman's deepest fears are a part of her identity. They shape her decisions, her instincts, and her resilience. These fears are not always rational, nor are they always visible. They can stem from childhood wounds, from heartbreaks she never fully healed from societal expectations that have weighed on her for too long. She might fear failure, rejection, abandonment, or even success. She might fear losing herself in a relationship, giving too much, or never being enough. These are not fears a man can erase with comforting words or reassuring actions. They are hers alone to carry, and she must decide when and how to confront them. There is strength in knowing what to share and what to keep within. When a woman reveals her deepest fears, she becomes vulnerable. Vulnerability can be beautiful, but it can also be dangerous. Not every person will handle that vulnerability with care. Not every man will understand the weight of what she is sharing. Some will dismiss her fears as irrational. Some will use them against her, consciously or unconsciously. And some, despite their best intentions, will simply not know how to hold that space for her. This is why a woman must be selective. She must guard her innermost fears, not out of secrecy but out of wisdom. Strength is often mistaken for openness. We are told that to be strong means to lay everything on the table, to be an open book, to share every doubt and every insecurity. But real strength is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It is understanding that some fears lose their power when they are voiced, while others gain strength from being kept within. A woman does not have to reveal everything to be loved, to be understood, to be valued. She does not need to prove her trust by bearing every shadow that lingers in her mind. Instead, she must cultivate a relationship with herself, where she becomes her own source of comfort and reassurance. She must learn to sit with her fears, to understand them, to navigate them without seeking constant validation. A man may stand beside her, may offer his love, his support, his presence, but he cannot be the one to carry all her fears for her. That is a burden no one else can bear. This is not about building walls or shutting people out. It is about balance. It is about recognizing that strength is not found in how much we share, but in how much we can hold within ourselves without breaking. A woman's fears do not define her, but how she manages them does. She must know when to lean on others and when to stand on her own. She must understand that love does not require full disclosure of every fear that resides within her heart. Some things are hers alone. Some things must remain hidden, not out of deception, but out of a deep, unshakable sense of self. And that is power. The full depth of her sacrifices. A woman's life is often defined by the sacrifices she makes. Some are visible, obvious to the world, appreciated and even celebrated. Others, however, are quiet, unseen, and deeply personal. These sacrifices shape her character, build her resilience, and often determine the course of her life. Yet, despite their significance, they do not always need to be shared, explained, or justified. A woman must learn to carry some sacrifices in silence, not because she seeks secrecy, but because not everyone will understand the depth of what she has given up. From the moment she steps into the world, a woman is expected to give. She gives love, time, energy, and attention to those around her. She sacrifices sleep to care for others, opportunities to support those she loves, and sometimes even parts of herself in the name of duty, family, or love. These sacrifices are not always grand or dramatic. They are often small, almost imperceptible, choosing to stay up late to finish work while ensuring her home is in order, setting aside her own dreams to nurture those of her partner or children, or silently enduring struggles so that others do not have to. The world often takes a woman's sacrifices for granted. Society assumes she will give without question, compromise without hesitation, and endure without complaint. The expectation is so ingrained that even she may not realize how much she gives up until years later when she looks back and wonders where certain pieces of herself have gone. It is not that she regrets these sacrifices. Many are made out of love, and love is one of the greatest motivators of all. But the reality is that not everyone will truly understand their weight, and not everyone needs to. A woman must be careful about how much she reveals about the depth of her sacrifices, especially to a man, not because he does not care, but because he may not fully grasp what those sacrifices mean to her. Men and women often process sacrifice differently. While men tend to see sacrifices as choices, decisions made in the moment for a specific reason, women experience them as emotional investments, as long-term commitments that shape their sense of self. When a woman gives up something important to her, it is not just a decision, it is a part of her heart that she chooses to place elsewhere. The challenge is that not every man will recognize these sacrifices for what they truly are. Some may see them as obligations rather than choices, as things a woman is simply supposed to do rather than acts of love and devotion. If a woman reveals every sacrifice she has made, if she lays them all bare, expecting gratitude or acknowledgement, she may find herself disappointed, not because the man does not care, but because he may not understand the depth of what she has given up. And that misunderstanding can lead to resentment, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. A woman's sacrifices are her own. They are part of her story, her journey, and her personal evolution. They do not always need to be explained, nor do they always need validation. Some of the greatest sacrifices in history were made in silence, without applause or recognition. They were made because they needed to be, because love required them, because circumstances demanded them. And that is where true strength lies. Not in how much a woman gives, but in how gracefully she carries what she has given up. There is a quiet power in knowing that you have sacrificed for those you love, even if they never fully understand it. That power is not in seeking acknowledgement, but in knowing that the sacrifices were made with intention, with love, and with the strength of a heart that chooses to give. A woman must never feel the need to list every sacrifice she has made, or to explain why she did what she did. Some things are meant to remain in her heart, known only to her, guiding her silently as she moves forward in life. Her financial independence, a woman's financial independence, is one of the most powerful tools she can possess. It is not just about money, it is about freedom, security, and self-respect. It is about the ability to make choices without fear, to walk away from situations that no longer serve her, and to stand tall knowing that her survival is not dependent on anyone else. Financial independence is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And while love, partnership, and trust are beautiful aspects of a relationship, a woman must always protect her financial autonomy. For centuries, women were conditioned to believe that financial matters belonged to men. Men were the providers, the decision makers, the ones who controlled the flow of wealth. Women were taught to depend, to rely, and to trust that they would be taken care of. But times have changed, and history has shown that dependence can be dangerous. Too many women have found themselves trapped in relationships they cannot leave, trapped in jobs they cannot quit, trapped in lives where they feel powerless, simply because they do not have the financial means to change their circumstances. Money is not just about material comfort. It is about choices. A financially independent woman can choose where she lives, how she spends her time, and whom she allows into her life. She does not have to stay in a toxic relationship because she cannot afford to leave. She does not have to endure a job she hates because she has no other way to pay the bills. She does not have to shrink herself or silence her voice out of fear that speaking up will result in financial consequences. Independence grants her the power to live on her own terms, and that is something she must never sacrifice. However, financial independence is not just about earning money. It is about understanding it. A woman must learn to manage her finances, to invest wisely, to save, and to plan for her future. It is not enough to simply have an income. She must know how to protect and grow her wealth. Too often, women are discouraged from engaging in financial discussions. They are told that money matters are complex, that they should leave it to their husbands or financial advisors. But ignorance is not bliss when it comes to money. Knowledge is power. A woman who understands her finances cannot be manipulated, deceived, or controlled. She makes decisions based on wisdom, not fear. A woman must also be cautious about revealing the full extent of her financial independence to a man. While honesty is essential in a healthy relationship, there is wisdom in discretion. Not every man is secure enough to handle a financially independent woman. Some may feel threatened by her success, while others may seek to take advantage of it. A woman must observe carefully, understanding whether the man in her life respects her independence or sees it as a challenge to his own ego. She must protect what she has built, ensuring that her financial security remains in her hands. There is also the emotional aspect of financial independence. Many women are raised to believe that being taken care of is a sign of love. They equate financial support with commitment and security. While there is nothing wrong with allowing a partner to contribute, it should never come at the cost of losing one's independence. A woman must never feel that she owes someone simply because they provide for her. True love is not based on dependency, it is based on partnership. A strong woman does not seek a provider. She seeks a teammate, someone who respects her ability to stand on her own and supports her in her pursuit of financial growth. Ultimately, financial independence is about more than just money. It is about self-worth. A woman who is financially independent knows that she is capable, that she is in control of her destiny, and that she never has to settle for less than she deserves. She does not wait for someone else to give her security, she creates it for herself. And in doing so, she ensures that no matter what happens in life, she will always have the power to choose her own path. Her private dreams. A woman's dreams are among the most sacred and intimate parts of her soul. They are the visions that keep her awake at night, the silent aspirations she holds close to her heart, and the quiet voice that whispers to her about the life she truly desires. Dreams are fragile. They are like seeds that need careful nurturing, patience, and protection from the harshness of the world. Not all dreams need to be shared immediately, and not all people deserve to hear them. A woman must learn the power of keeping her deepest dreams private, not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. There is something profoundly personal about the way a woman dreams. Her dreams are not just about achievements or material success, they are often about purpose, passion, and fulfillment. She dreams about the life she wants to create, the impact she wants to make, and the kind of woman she wants to become. But in a world that constantly tells her what she should and should not do, it can be dangerous to expose these dreams too soon. When dreams are shared prematurely, they become vulnerable to criticism, doubt, and external expectation. Sometimes even the people who love her the most may unintentionally discourage her by projecting their own fears and limitations onto her vision. A man, no matter how supportive he is, may not always understand the depth of a woman's dreams. This is not because he does not care, but because her dreams are uniquely hers. They are shaped by her experiences, her struggles, and her innermost desires. A man may try to rationalize, modify, or even redirect her dreams based on his own perspective. He may see them as impractical, too ambitious, or unrealistic, and in doing so, he may unknowingly plant seeds of doubt in her mind. This is why a woman must be selective about when and how she shares her dreams. The world is filled with people who abandon their dreams because someone told them they were not possible. A single comment, a moment of doubt, or a dismissive remark can be enough to make a woman question whether her dreams are worth pursuing. This is why dreams must be protected in their early stages. A woman should allow herself the space to dream freely without the weight of judgment or expectation. She should cultivate her dreams in solitude, allowing them to grow strong enough to withstand the opinions of others before she brings them into the world. There is also a deeper reason why a woman should not reveal all her dreams to a man. A man should never feel that he is the center of her universe, that her dreams revolve around him, or that his approval determines her direction. A woman's dreams should exist independently of her relationships. They should not be compromised, altered, or abandoned for the sake of love. When a woman holds on to her private dreams, she retains a sense of self that remains untouched by the dynamics of her relationship. She proves to herself that she is not just someone's partner, but an individual with her own purpose and aspirations. This does not mean a woman must hide everything or avoid sharing her ambitions altogether. There will be moments when she chooses to invite a man into her world, to let him see the fire that burns within her, but that invitation must be on her terms, when she feels ready, and when she knows that her dreams are strong enough to stand on their own. Until then, she must protect them with the same care she would give to something precious and rare. A woman's private dreams are a source of power. They remind her of who she is and what she is capable of. They give her a sense of purpose that no one else can take away. By keeping some of her dreams private, she ensures that they remain pure, unshaken by the doubts and expectations of others. And in doing so, she keeps a part of herself that belongs to no one but her. Her emotional strength. A woman's emotional strength is one of her greatest assets. It is the quiet resilience that allows her to endure pain without breaking, the inner fire that pushes her forward when everything around her is falling apart, and the grace with which she carries her burdens without seeking pity. Yet, despite its power, emotional strength is often misunderstood, overlooked, or even taken for granted. A woman must never feel the need to reveal the full extent of her emotional strength to a man, because not everyone will appreciate the depth of what she carries, and not everyone deserves to witness her at her strongest or at her most vulnerable. From a young age, women are conditioned to be the nurturers, the caregivers, and the ones who hold everything together. They are expected to be the emotional backbone of families, friendships, and relationships. They are the ones who wipe away tears while hiding their own, who offer comfort even when they are in pain, and who put on a brave face so that others do not have to worry. This strength is not always loud or visible. It is often found in the silent battles fought behind closed doors, in the way a woman carries herself even when her world is crumbling, and in the sacrifices she makes without expecting recognition. Yet, because women are so naturally strong, their strength is often taken for granted. The more a woman reveals how much she can handle, the more the world expects from her. If she always shows up without hesitation, if she always puts others before herself, if she never lets anyone see her struggle, she risks being seen as someone who does not need help, as someone who will always be fine no matter what. And that can be a dangerous place to be. A woman must be selective about how much of her emotional strength she reveals, especially in relationships. If a man sees her as someone who can handle anything, he may unintentionally stop offering support. He may assume that she does not need comfort, reassurance, or protection because she always seems to have it together. Over time, this can lead to imbalance, where she becomes the giver, the rock, the one who absorbs all the emotional weight, while receiving little in return. Emotional strength should never be an invitation for others to lean too heavily on her without giving back. There is also the risk of her strength being misunderstood. Some men may mistake emotional strength for a lack of sensitivity, assuming that because a woman does not break down easily, she does not feel deeply. Others may see her strength as a challenge, as something to test or push against. In some cases, a woman's resilience can even attract the wrong kind of partner, someone who sees her ability to endure as permission to mistreat her, assuming she will always stay, always forgive, always bear the burden without complaint. For this reason, a woman must protect her emotional strength by not revealing all of it at once. She must allow herself to receive care, to show vulnerability in moments when she truly needs support, and to set boundaries that prevent others from taking advantage of her resilience. Strength does not mean never asking for help, nor does it mean carrying the weight of the world alone. True strength is knowing when to stand firm and when to lean on others, when to fight and when to rest, when to be strong and when to let someone else be strong for her. At its core, emotional strength is a quiet power that does not need validation. A woman does not need to prove how strong she is by constantly enduring hardships without complaint. She does not need to wear her struggles like a badge of honor or let anyone measure her worth by how much she can withstand. Her strength is hers alone, and she must decide when, where, and with whom to share it.